Hello all, my name is Harshit. I'm a student of IIM Trichy, and today, as a part of our course Indian Economy and Policy, I am going to speak about disinvestments in India. So, what is disinvestment? It addresses the problem of the increasing fiscal burden on the government of India, which has aggravated due to the pandemic of COVID 19. So, disinvestment is the phenomena where the government of India liquidates its assets which it has invested in public sector undertakings. Let us talk about public sector undertakings first. So, PSUs were established as early as post independence. Uh, the main reasons for establishing PSUs was to have complete economic independence through the capital formation, and this stemmed from the idea that they had undergone an oppressive regime of colonialism under the British, so they wanted to come out of that. And also in some sectors, the private players did not have enough capital and other resources to establish entities. Hence, PSUs were established soon after the independence. So, this was based on the ideology of Fabian socialism, which was followed by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So, who is responsible for disinvestment? In India, in 1999, the Department of Disinvestment was formed, and gradually it has been renamed as DIPAM, Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, in 2016. So DIPAM deals with strategic disinvestment, minority stake sales, asset monetization, and capital restructuring of mainly central public sector enterprises. And also, Niti Aayog is one other important player, which is a policy think tank aimed at achieving sustainable development goals. So, it was established in 2015. Coming to the pros of disinvestment, uh, currently the funds allocated to PSUs are not being effectively and efficiently used. Hence, if the ownership gets transferred, the funds that are deployed there could be redeployed in sectors of strategic importance like health and social welfare. Secondly, it would increase competitiveness among manufacturers because when the economy opens to uh, you know opens to the foreign players, then it, the quality of products produced and services produced also increases. Also, since government is opening this to the equity markets, common people like retail investors can invest in public sector undertakings, and this would eventually increase in the distribution of wealth. Also, looking at the statistics from 1940 to 2002, the average return on capital employed is at 3.4% for PSUs, but the cost of borrowing is higher at 8.6%. So, this is a precarious financial situation for a PSU to be in. If we look at the cons, so government should take care that it does not disinvest in profit-making PSUs, since this would hurt more than it would help. Also, private sector is currently the sector which has highest NPAs other than agriculture. So next, the private players are not obliged to create jobs. So one of the major aims of formation of PSUs was to create jobs. So when private players come into picture, they bring in operational innovations like automation, etc., which would eventually cut the number of jobs. If the government is, if and when the government privatizes these banks, they are no longer under the control of government. Hence, they are not obliged to, channel the funds towards ailing PSUs. This was possible before. If we look at this list, it is a list of companies which were which included disinvestment of the government shares and the receipts. So eventually, 50,298 crore rupees of receipts were received in the year 2019 and 20. If you look at the figure on the right hand side, you can look at the top right corner where from 2004 to 2009, the total receipts were only 8,500 crores. So one strong hypothesis is that uh, this regime was under UPA, and it had majorly left-leaning political parties which supported Congress. Hence, since the left-leaning parties are in turn backed by trade unions, they are always they're mostly against disinvestment. And coming to the future, during the recent budget of February 2021, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, she has listed the following companies which are to be sold strategically: IDBI Bank, Bharat Petroleum, Shipping Corporation of India, Container Corporation of India, and Neelachal Ispat Nigam Limited, Orissa. This, she said, this would be completed during the fiscal year of 2021 and 22. Thank you.